Hi there, my name is Lauren Kolb, and I am the Soil Health Coordinator for the City of Boulder's Open Space and Mountain Parks Department. The Open Space and Mountain Parks Department is a municipal land conservation and management organization that owns over 45,000 acres of land in and around Boulder, Colorado. This land is used for recreation, wildlife and native plant habitat, and agriculture. As Soil Health Coordinator for the department, I direct the city's efforts to increase soil health on leased and unleased open space agricultural land. And I also work with the department's agricultural lessees to incorporate the 5 principles of soil health into their agricultural operations. If you haven't met me before, this is me. So now you have a picture to put with a voice. Today, as part of the Soil Revolution's efforts to stay connected and keep the community informed of the progress that we've made locally in 2020, I'm going to be updating you on the city's Bennett property carbon farming project. To give you a little background, this project came out of a local collaborative effort to look at the feasibility of using municipally owned agricultural lands in Boulder County as a way to offset greenhouse gas emissions. Given the large municipal land holdings within Boulder County, there's significant capacity to sequester carbon and offset greenhouse gas emissions on these agricultural lands. So even small increases of soil organic carbon over very large areas can significantly reduce net greenhouse gas emissions. I've included a link to a copy of the study in the bottom right-hand corner of this slide if you would like some light reading. One of the big takeaways from the study was the effectiveness of compost applications to irrigated fields in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and the cascading benefits of compost for improving soil structure, water infiltration, and soil organic matter. We decided to apply the results from this feasibility study to the Bennett property. The Bennett property is a 103-acre property that was purchased in 2007. The Bennett property was leased as a cattle ranching headquarters until 2017. Prairie dog occupation on this property and other leaseholds sufficiently depressed forage production to the extent that the lessee's cattle operation was no longer financially viable and she moved out of state. Due to the continual grazing of prairie dogs, the property has had significant loss of plant cover, meaning that there was no armor on the soil when inevitable windstorms blew through the county in 2016, 2017, and 2018, taking all of the topsoil with it. Without the topsoil, these soils have diminished capacity to support plant growth and absorb and hold carbon. This loss of topsoil also reduces the resilience of these ecosystems to climate change and associated extreme weather events. The answer to the question of how to slow, stop, and reverse soil degradation on Bennett and other properties like it can also be a strategy to increase soil carbon sequestration. In 2018, we laid out 5 treatments with 4 replications on the northern hillside of the property. We wanted to see the effectiveness of compost applications with and without a contour chisel plowing method called keyline plowing in order to jumpstart plant growth on the property. We had good success with compost applications done in concert with keyline plowing and took those results into 2019, expanding the treatment area to the areas highlighted in green on this slide. We contracted with a local company to spread dairy manure compost and keyline the entire property, and then we seeded perennials twice, but with no success. Furthermore, bringing field scale equipment in to do these tasks was difficult, as city ordinance protects prairie dog burrows from damage or destruction. The early success of 2018 had made me confident that there was nowhere to go but up on the Bennett property. However, this was not true. Given the degradation and fragile state of the soils on this property, it was clear that Bennett was not ready for perennials and needed more attention to building above and below ground biomass before succeeding onto perennial species. In March 2020, we planted a combination of oats, peas, and rye across the same area we failed to establish a desirable crop in 2019. The weather cooperated with timely rains and snow, and we had much better emergence and establishment. By June, I took plant biomass samples to estimate above ground biomass production. Samples were dried and weighed. More than 1,700 pounds per acre of dry plant biomass was harvested, with 945 pounds of that biomass consisting of cover crop biomass, with the remainder consisting of weeds. This biomass not only pumped carbon into the soil, it also protected it from erosion. On June 4th, we had a big windstorm come through and I took video from the property. Notice there is no visible soil blowing off of the field. For comparison, this is an open space field 2 miles away. We will continue to work to improve the Bennett property, as that is our charge as land steward. For good vegetation establishment, cool season crops and timely precipitation in the fall and spring is essential, and that appears to be the strategy that will give us the most success. Summer crops remain a challenge, but we continue to work on improving irrigation infrastructure, flood irrigation, and selection of species that can tolerate both heat and drought. Based on the lessons learned from this property, we've expanded the use of some of these strategies to other properties across the open space system, including keylining, composting, and planting diverse cover crop mixtures. We will also begin trialing some newer technology and products to see if they aid in our regeneration efforts. I just wanted to finish by acknowledging our partners, collaborators, and supporters. Thanks for watching.